Tap Videos.
I got so much information in my head. I just want to spit it out before I forget it.
Yeah.
I mean, so a couple years ago, by the grace of God, I got a job off of Craigslist, of all places. Yeah, I was like, this might be shady. I'm not sure. But luckily, I just applied, sent my best resume at the time. I was like, fingers crossed. And yeah, man, one day I'm at my job or whatever at the time, and I'm kind of laying down on the floor on lunch break on a broken down, not broken, but like a broken down table. Just, yeah. It was a pretty shitty day. The staff was great. My boss was great. One or two of them. There was one that was kind of like, she gave me a hard time. Sorry, I gave that away. Whoever's listening. But he's a good person. In terms of a boss, though, he's kind of rude to me. But anyways. But yeah, so I got a text message or a call. She's like, hello, is this Carlos? I just popped right up. I jumped at least 10 feet high, dude. Yes, this is Carlos. How can I help you? She's like, hey, this is Allison from GLI Distributing. You know, we saw your post and we could sure use you in our art department. We need a graphic designer. You want to show up for an interview? And boom, dude, the rest is history. So just getting into it, man. And that was like my breath of fresh air, dude. Like, my life isn't over, that kind of thing. So fortunate. Yeah. And I learned, and from then on, that point to right now, us talking, I learned 2 more programs. So I know Adobe, I know Corel, and I know Flexi. So it's pretty cool, man. You might have heard some of those. Yeah. So as far as that's my journey in terms of job-wise. What about yourself, man? How has life been for you the past couple of years, besides COVID?
It's been pretty strange. I mean, like, since COVID, I had like this routine that was thrown off from COVID. Like, I would go to the gym like 3 times a week, you know, and I would do my classes or whatever, if classes or work. And when COVID started, like, I just stopped going to the gym. I just started doing workouts at home. And I mean, I still do that.
Okay.
Since COVID started, I jumped into grad school to get my master's in public health, and I'm almost done.
Oh, good. That's good, man.
Yeah.
Good. How long has your school journey been? Is it 2 years, 3 years?
So far, I just started doing it part-time, but I'm going to take 11 credit hours this summer, and that's like the end of it.
Nice, people. Congrats.
Yeah, and, you know, and balancing this out with, like, you know, work and music.
Speaking of music, are you in a band or no?
Yes, I am. I play in extreme metal band, Churchicide from Austin.
Okay. So how many guitars do you own?
I believe I have 6 or 7.
Damn.
Yeah, I've collected like some over the years, and I mean, some were collected over the years, and then some others I just picked up at local shops that were like pretty cheap. And I have another one that was gifted to me. And, you know, so as far as guitars though, like when I play live, like there's like 2 or 3 that I primarily use. If I go on stage, like I'll have my main guitar,
okay,
but I'll also bring a backup.
That's good. So how many electric and acoustic do you have, or are they all just one style?
I have 6 electric and 1 acoustic.
Nice. Okay, so 7 guitars then. Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm dabbling, you know, trying to learn the best way I can. I have a little electric guitar, and then I have a little acoustic guitar. On a recent event that I filmed, when the logo pops up for the wrestling event for the company, I played a couple of chords in the beginning myself, and I kind of recorded that as their logo pops up.
That's awesome.
It was for fun. It was just like, let me just see how that goes. But that's another story. For anybody listening, it's on my YouTube channel, rezlosmedia, one word. But yeah, man. Okay, that's good. How long have you been in this band so far, this current one?
I've been in this band since late 2018. It's actually been the longest like lasting band I've been part of As a matter of fact, it's been the longest lasting band for like all my bandmates, like that we've been part of, like just together. Everything, the chemistry is just there. We all do our homework, and we get along. There's no ego trips that that gets in the way of what we do. Because we're just the way we've gone and done this successfully is that we're just a group of friends just doing what we like to do, just having fun.
So basically, everybody is kind of like equal. There's no like,
Yeah.
I'm top tier, or I'm the head honcho, and you're like the grunt. So everybody's aligned. At the same time.
Like this is probably one of the most like the most prominent lasting bands and like at a professional level that I've ever worked with.
Yeah, I'm happy for you. I mean, I've heard stories of people, past and present, affiliate, friends, not friends, whatever you want to call it, stories, and some of them are good where a section of the band, like two of the bandmates, will stick together and go on different projects, and everybody else just kind of goes their separate ways. And in some cases, there's like a part where a person was kind of in it, like in the trenches with drugs, sex, partying, and it kind of got in the way of the actual progress of the band. And the only person that kind of clicked and woke up was one of the bandmates, and he had to kind of exit stage left because he noticed that the rest of the bandmates were kind of like just engulfed in this lifestyle that he didn't want to be part of. So on that part, kudos to him for making the right choice there. Yeah, I mean, I've heard many stories, especially like, I mean, I imagine you like some classic hair metal bands, right? From like the 80s, stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like have anything against a lot of it. I mean, not all of it. I mean, it actually, like, when I was growing up, like, listening to music, like, I actually did not really, like, have a lot of interest in like, the 80s, like, like, hip music. Like, I just went straight to, like, thrash genres.
Okay. For me, it was more like the 80s hair metal band, but I guess that's because my dad kind of like hammered it mentally in my head, because every time we would go somewhere, he'd be blasting 80s.
All our parents listen to it.
Yeah. That lifestyle, that mindset was grandfathered into my brain at a young age, which it wasn't that bad. I mean, I personally have never done drugs. I don't consider mushrooms. I don't consider marijuana, weed, whatever you want to call it. I don't consider that a drug because it's a plant. Unless it's laced with something, then someone's screwing around the bush, and then that's where they try to get you. But
like,
go ahead.
I would, like back then, like the party lifestyle drugs. It wasn't as deadly as it is now today with the fentanyl crisis.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you hear stories like people getting things off the street, and it's laced. And nowadays, I think people are more careful about that.
Like they do their research, kind of.
Yeah, and they might just stick with like their dealer that they trust.
See, this is how innocent my brain is. A lot of people say I'm innocent. I get told I have a good heart. I do what I can. I'm not perfect. Naive is another good word I've been told by older women. Is that I didn't know what laced was. I didn't know what... I still say marijuana, but everybody has like every generation of new people coming up, there's a new slang.
Yeah, I don't... Honestly, like, I'm not really in the loop either. It's like, I remember back then, like, there was a drug called cheese, and I guess that was just like some form of opioid or something.
Never heard of that. See, that's news to me.
Hearing it on TV like a long time ago, and at first I was just, I was a little kid. I didn't understand. It's like, why are people getting in trouble for buying cheese? But it's like, okay, it's not that kind of cheese.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. See, as far as the whole cheese thing, okay. So you know what cheese was because you're like, hey, why are they getting in trouble for eating cheese or doing cheese?
Yeah.
There was a meme I saw a while back that had a picture of CJ from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. It's a meme. He's like this, and it shows a kid saying, This is how I felt whenever they said, "Oh, someone slept with so and so." And he's like, "Oh no, he went to bed with somebody and fell asleep next to somebody." Like that's what you think. You don't know it's like sex. You know what I mean? I don't know. It was
Yeah.
funny. I guess you have to be there in the moments. I don't know. But anyways, I mean, yeah, man, it's quite a journey, man. How was COVID for you, man? Did you deal with anything that was very like heartfelt, job
A
wise?
lot of, like, with COVID, a lot of it was just like worrying about my dad because he's considered at risk.
Okay.
Yeah, and so like it was by the time when the vaccines rolled out, I started having like relief because he got vaccinated, boosted, and and he didn't get hospitalized or anything.
Okay.
You know,
Thank God, man. I'm happy for that.
like yeah, thank goodness. If 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 we didn't have like this mRNA technology, like I don't know how he would have lasted, and I'm just thankful he did.
Dude, I'm happy too, man. Like for me, as far as the whole COVID thing, I mean, I know that was real to an extent. As far as the vaccinations, I'm a little bit on the fence, almost against it, to be honest. But with that being
Yeah.
said, I'm very happy that many
Mhm.
people and their family members had made it, man. At my previous job, one of my coworkers, I don't think I made his signs.
Mhm.
I think one of my other coworkers made his signs. Anyways,
Mhm.
he had his parents, both of them got COVID, man, and the mom, no, the dad, no, the dad died, and then within that
Oh,
same week, the mom died.
that's very tragic.
And I just and at the time, I didn't think about it. I was like, oh man, that sucks. But then again, I'm like, oh well, I mean, they're up in age. I mean, they weren't
Yeah.
careful. I mean, I wasn't putting it off. I wasn't like downplaying it. I was like, no, that's fucking horrible. That's sad. I can't imagine what this guy's going through. He lost both his parents, you know.
Yeah.
And then right around a couple of years ago, I ended up losing my grandmother on my mom's side
Mhm.
and my uncle, and that was within the span of a month to a week to a month, and that was tragic, man. I couldn't imagine my mom because she lost her mother and her brother. So,
Yeah.
but
It's very like it's just harrowing and like eerie knowing that something happened in the world that would like drastically like cause all these problems.
yeah,
And it's like this is the one thing that I just remember like thinking to myself was that okay, like things have changed forever.
right, of course, man. And
Yeah. A lot of my coping mechanism during like when COVID started was actually like, well, besides music, like I started doing like a lot of guitar covers and stuff, but also started playing a lot of games. There was a lot of games that, like 2020, 2021.
which franchise did you gravitate the most when you were playing games?
Oh man, like when Half-Life Alyx like was coming out, I
Oh,
bought a VR headset just for that.
I heard it was good, man.
It was good, and I mean that was the first like Half-Life game there's been since like 2007, so it's like been over a decade.
That was like
since
the Xbox time, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
like the 360 time, I guess. Like
Maybe, yeah. I'm a part-time gamer. Like I gravitate to certain games, but here's an example. People freak out whenever I tell them that I've never played Zelda. You know, I've
oh
never. And they're like, "Dude, you're not a real gamer." I'm like,
yeah,
"I am," but I guess I wasn't an only child, right? So I had brothers to share with and talk shit to and play the games with. Like,
Oh. There's some games in my Steam library, including Dodo, that I've never even touched either.
really? Damn, dude.
either. Yeah, but oh yeah, also Doom Eternal. That was like another highly anticipated game. Like I would say that and Half-Life Alyx are like the two like main titles that like I was just eager to grab onto because like I'm not a huge gamer, but like there's just those franchises that you really get into.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
that's good, man. And I imagine that you gravitate towards more like the blood and guts of horror, right?
Yeah. Some
Yeah.
of it. Resident Evil 8, that was pretty good too. But I also played a lot of Rocket League.
Dude, Rocket League, when it first came out, Man, like I had a blast playing that game.
Like, I just love customizing the car. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
use a hot rod model because it's just like.
Did you get the Twisted Metal add-ons?
Oh no, I didn't. I haven't played it in a while, but I saw that.
Yeah, I think
And
it was. I think it was Sweet Tooth, the clown, right? Maybe.
yeah, I saw that. Speaking of,
Yeah.
they're making a new TV series on Peacock.
Yeah. I hope it's good, man. Because
Good. It's like I do kind of have like some doubts because it's like I was looking at the cast and it's, you know, the character Calypso. Like, I didn't see anyone for that. And it seems like they changed like the plot from a sort of a contest thing to like a post-apocalyptic like sort of world. So I don't know. We just have to see what it's gonna be like.
well, yeah. So regarding the whole post-apocalyptic world, I know the first Twisted Metal was actually supposed to be that post-apocalyptic, but it was more of like an arcade style where you just plug and play and then you just go through it like a ladder without not an actual fighting ladder, but obviously like every stage you go to, there's just new guys you got to fight, and then just go to the next stage, the next stage, next stage, and then you beat the big guy, and then you win.
Yeah.
Simple. And then they got into I think it's Twisted Metal. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there's 0. Then there's Head On. I think
Black.
Twisted Metal Black. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was for the PS2.
Mhm.
That one they kind of put an actual like hardcore story.
Yeah.
In it.
Mhm.
And they kind of
It was sort of like, but it's sort of like a reimagining of the first game, I think.
I think so because the original
Yeah.
creators were there. I think.
Yeah, and actually, with that game, it's all inside of Sweet Tooth's mind, or like it's not all in Sweet Tooth's mind, but it's the way Sweet Tooth sees the world. I think.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
remember seeing a creepy. I mean, I have to find it. I'm sure it's there somewhere on YouTube or whatever. But there's this part where, like, this nostalgia. I'll go on YouTube and I'll look on like classic commercials.
The black
There-
commercial with
yes.
the crow.
The what?
Is it like the commercial with the crow inside of a cage and it says like "Make it stop"?
Maybe there's what basically the one I saw is that it just shows a guy like clenching his fists. And he's just shaking. He's like, and then like it cuts to like something happening. He's and then like just goes back, and then boom, there's the title, Twisted Metal Black. Or something. And I was like, who knows? Maybe that's supposed to be Sweet Tooth. Like he's having those nightmares or whatever.
Like the market, like the marketing for that game was like it was pretty unique.
Wow, man. Okay, man. Well, hey, I mean, I'm glad that so you found a way to cope. You basically you play guitar, you play some badass game. I've seen some of your covers like on Facebook, just like out of the blue.
Like I cover a lot of like death metal.
Mhm.
Like primarily, I'd say that's like my biggest like
Your niche.
yeah
Okay.
niche that I'm like tackling because like I don't know, like I just like playing extreme metal riffs. So like a lot of like songs I've been like learning have been from bands like Defeated Sanity, Gorguts.
Gorgut?
Yeah. Gorguts.
Gorgut.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of them, but I've heard of like the name.
Meshuggah.
Meshuggah, yes, that one too.
Yeah, and Deathspell Omega, like black metal and death metal bands.
Nice.
And yeah, Churchicide, like we sort of like we blend like the death metal and black metal elements, and like it can be like pretty, it is like very heavy, more heavy than like, you know, typical like death metal and black metal, since it fuses the both. But like with what makes Churchicide stand out from a lot of bands is probably our leads, our solos and everything, because they're very, we put in like very intricate solos and songs, and you know, and yeah, like, and I also like work around with scales as well. So I mean, sometimes we have songs that go like all over the place, like on a chromatic scale, and we don't, sometimes we don't use a lot of theory in writing.
Real quick. Yeah. Were you born in the 90s? Or were you born in the 80s?
I was born in 93.
Oh, dude, you're younger than me, dude. I feel old now.
How old are you?
Not by much. I'm only like 3 years older than you. I was born in '90.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh no, I feel like I forget that I'm getting older. Like this one young lady said, "Oh, you're up there." I'm like, "Oh, gee, thanks."
Yeah. When you don't feel your age, I think you're doing things right.
I hope so, man. I hope
Yeah.
so. I
Feel
mean,
younger than you actually are.
like a couple years ago, my life started over. So now I'm like playing catch up, and it's fun, but it's stressful. It's like, oh, like I feel like like. Don't you have it? Don't you hate it whenever like you had like an aha moment? Like, man, I'm so busy, and it's like good God, and then you have like a bunch of white hair sprout out of nowhere because you're so stressed out.
I haven't seen white hair on my head, and I don't mean to brag.
Wow. Oh man.
I've actually seen some on one of my younger brothers, and that confounds me.
It's like, dude, what are you stressed for? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on with you? Like, because I feel like, I mean, I get moments I'm stressed out too. I mean, besides school, I just recently like recorded like I also have a solo project called Stella Fair. I just finished recording instruments and vocals for a split and a full length for that, and so I'm looking to release these two later this year. And I mean, like, I was just stressed, just like trying to find time to record all this, and like balance my life with like work. Like, I did my internship this last fall.
Oh, congrats! And you finished it, right?
Yeah. Yes.
That's good. So what's a split? What was the other one called?
Oh, the other project, Stella Fera.
No. You said split and something else.
Oh, split and full length.
What is that? Like, is it just a chunk of music, or is it like a full song?
Yeah, so like a full length is just like like a regular like album, like over like 30 minutes or longer. Anything like more than 20 minutes. And so like a split, that's when two artists they come together and they release a music with like songs from them and like the other person.
Oh, like a collaboration.
Yeah, sort of like a collaboration. Yeah.
Okay, so as far as the guitars, man, like, do you get rowdy blisters or not anymore because you've been playing for a long time?
Not anymore. Like, that's like the one thing. Like when you start off guitar, it's just like developing the calluses, especially like if you're starting off and you're learning the basic chords. I would say that like just getting comfortable to play like the chords and have your fingers not hurt as much is probably like that's just like when they stop hurting when you're playing these chords. That's pretty much like the telltale sign that like you're getting more used to playing guitar and not having to worry about hurting your hands too much, or I mean your fingers.
I bet that's like a breath of fresh air that you just kind of like you're used to it. It doesn't bother you. And you can just shred the hell out of yourself, just boom, boom, stuff.
Yeah, right now like I can like do a lot of crazy things and like I'm comfortable.
That's so good, dude. Like for me, if I'm gonna shred, that's on Guitar Hero, bro. That's all I can do.
I suck at Guitar Hero.
No, that's fine. Check it out. There was a small video. Maybe it was a video or even a small interview with Slash from GNR Guns N' Roses. He said that when they used him to market Guitar Hero 3 with the top hat and everything, he was like, dude, I can shred on a real guitar, but I am shit at a Guitar Hero guitar. So I guess it makes sense, dude. I don't know, but like, and I try to like push myself. And my brother, who's so much better than me at video games, we would put on what's called hyperspeed. So there's level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. I put that bitch on 6, bro, and those notes just come down real fast, like raining, dude. And I'm like shredding as fast as I can, and I'll probably beat maybe 13% of the whole set list. But that's my woohoo, look at me. A while back, I tagged my father. He was actually trying to play Guitar Hero for the third time or fourth time of his life, and he
Really?
He bombed, but he tried, so that was pretty cool. But no, good times, man. But yeah, so I'm happy that your fingers don't hurt as much. Is it only guitar, or do you do drums? Do you sing? Do you play the flute? Do you play something different?
In high school band, I started out with drums actually.
Really?
Yeah, like my sophomore year, like I started playing bass guitar, and then like in my senior year of high school, like I did like bass guitar for like a little jazz ensemble. Yeah, yeah. I played a little bit of jazz, yes.
That's dope, dude. I think it's safe to say that we've all played the recorder, right?
I haven't.
What? All right, so I mean, you're kind of lucky, and you kind of missed out, but you're playing guitar, so you're doing pretty good. I promise. No, for everybody here, man, like myself included, for the recorder, we play this this song called "Hot Cross Buns." It's like it's so stupid, but it's like there's memes going around like, man, I don't know anything about finances. I don't know anything about growing my own crops, but I do know how to play hot cross buns. I was like, man, that is nothing closer to the truth than that, man. So, but no, man.
I don't know why I never learned it. I don't know.
No, honestly, dude, you ain't missing out.
Curriculum for you?
Nah, it was, dude. This was like first grade, maybe. Something like that. And they give you a little recorder, which is basically like a Hill Country Fair of the flute, basically.
Yeah, I kind of wish I did that.
I mean, bro, you could probably find one for $15, if that.
Yeah. No, those things come really cheap, actually.
Oh yeah. I mean, I probably exaggerate. I'm thinking like, I think that's how much it cost when I was in school. Like when they were like, hey, here's a permission slip. And we need to have your mommy and daddy pay us some money because we are cheap and we don't want to buy you, stuff that you need. But then again, my schools were pretty nice. I was blessed. People say that I was blessed with a good school, so I'm pretty content with that. Do you write down? This is a weird question, or it's probably not. But is it easy to read and write music? Does it take some time to figure out?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, I read tablature.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, and so nice. It's not really reading music notes. It's like reading numbers where like you put your where the frets are and like where your fingers go.
I was trying to learn the guitar a couple years ago, and the guy was telling me something of like a weird acronym. It was like Easter Bunny eats
is that for the
on Easter, like it's like EB, like the different levels. I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah. It sounds like it was like the tuning.
Yeah, I was like, that's so. I have to find it somewhere. I wrote it down a long time ago, but I was like, man, that's interesting that they have like a playful way of teaching. That was kind of interesting. As far as you getting into music, like. Well, you said that earlier that you were into music kind of like in school, right? But what's the first thing that sparked in your head when you were young that made you want to jump into?
I guess like I don't know. I always wanted to play guitar, and I guess like watching like some bands play, like like early like VH1.
Nice. When I was young. Okay.
Yeah.
Like MTV, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like watching like artists on there, and it's like, it was just, I just imagine, like, I just wanted to know what the feeling was like to be on stage like that. And, it is very, and it's like, it's really awesome. And I mean, I enjoy it.
Okay. So is it the feeling of expressionism, or is it also the lifestyle, or is it both, or is it like either or?
I would say, I mean, maybe like a bit of both, but like a lot of it is just expression.
Okay. Yeah. Like when Rock Band 2 came out, I think the guy in the front cover has his hair flared up, like on the front cover, and every time I see that, or see people with long hair. Like your hair looks amazing. I miss my long hair, but it has never been that long. I've probably had it to about right here to my shoulders. That's about it. But I guess I don't have the build because I'm more of like a stocky person as opposed to a guy that has like my body's more proportioned. I feel like I have
Yeah.
no neck, for example. So. But I
Mhm.
mean, but yeah, like that. I want to say envious because that's a bad word in this context. But I'm happy for these rock stars that are actually just living up life, obviously within reason. And
Yeah.
they're taking care of their own, and they're not doing anything too stupid. Maybe you're gonna go party, be safe, you know,
Yeah.
all that good stuff. So, what age more or less do you remember, or can you remember you started?
That I started like do what?
Sorry, what age can you say that you feel like you started?
Oh, started like guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like 15, 16.
Okay. So that's the usual high school time, around high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Were you always like I guess one of the rockers in high school, or did you kind of like have like certain other
I mean, like
genre?
also, yeah. I mean, I was a bit eclectic. Like, I was like into like a little bit of everything, but like since I didn't have like a lot of it in common with like a lot of other people, I kind of had to like compartmentalize that, and just like for the sake of just trying to fit in, and that was like always that was the challenge. Just like through high school, just like I just felt like I didn't like fit in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Means okay. So you had to compartmentalize, and also had to kind of find a way to fit in, but it wasn't comfortable. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Okay.
Yeah. I didn't feel like I was like like being myself that much. I
Gotcha.
didn't feel like I was able to live life like and be myself like around like other people who wouldn't like be like, hey, that's an interesting style.
So nobody was like, "Hey, man, I see you chilling. Come have lunch with us, or come to a game
Oh
with us." Or
yeah. Oh no, like there was plenty of people like that, but it's just
okay,
like
so
then they
okay,
drag it to conversation, and then you don't have like a lot of anything in common with them, so you feel awkward, and you feel like your you feel like your inclusion is just very shoehorned and
okay,
it's forced.
yeah,
I mean, I did have like a group of friends that like every opportunity where like they're there, like I would hang out with them, but you know,
well, that's good, man. I mean, yeah, because I know there are some people around my era of school, not my era, but obviously I'm a little bit older. But
yeah,
there was a bit of an attempt to include everybody in some. That was kind of cool, especially in lunchtime. Everybody kind of got along. You have the preps with the jocks, with the rockers, with the skaters, with
yeah,
the cholas, the gangsters or whatever. I don't know, man. And the thing was, I grew up in a preppy city, to be honest.
yeah,
And honestly, I have my late uncle to thank for that because had he not been around to help us out, I probably would have still been in the city I used to be in, and I would have probably had tattoos all over my face, my body, and had maybe like 3 or 4 baby mamas. So I'm fortunate, man. I'm fortunate, but that's good, man. At least they kept you. They included you. They tried. That's
yeah.
good. I mean, that's good, man. I'm glad. Um,
Mhm.
as far as being into music, man, since you were 15, were there any like good times, bad times that you had to deal with? Like, I guess mentally, physically,
Yeah,
emotionally.
yeah,
Uh,
oh yeah. I would say high school was a lot of like there were years where I mean it feels melodramatic just to like talk about like the issues, but I mean growing up for everyone, like it's fair to say it's hard. It really is. I mean, you know, it, it's just like that moment where it's like, oh yeah, like you're 16 and it's just onwards from here. It's just the anticipation of not knowing where you're gonna go, and it's just it can be a scary feeling growing up. I mean, but like I think I developed a good coping mechanism around it.
okay. So coping mechanism. What did you do? Was it the same thing that you said last time, or is it more like
I mean, it's just like music, like writing, like playing guitar, going home from school.
Did you
Like,
draw at all?
did what?
Did you draw?
Not really. A little bit in like middle school,
Okay.
but I didn't really I didn't really like go farther than that. Like, if I drew, it was like out of boredom.
Okay, like a doodle kind of thing?
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's good stuff. Describe one major challenging instance that you had to endure, and what did you do to overcome that obstacle
Oh.
in your profession?
In my profession,
Please.
at least. It's just a lot of putting mind over matter. I find I've been like encountered with a lot of like different challenges over the years, and it's
Yeah.
It feels like there's a different way to approach them every time, but at the same time, it's just having the same mindset that it it will too pass, and it if you don't do as well as you want, you at least did your best and you grew in some way. I would say like a lot of it, like, challenges came from like certain classes I took. Like some exams. Like some classes were just like difficult to pass.
Okay. Yeah, man, it's one of those things you got to deal with.
Yeah.
Bothers me. Regarding the music industry for yourself, also.
Yeah.
Are there any potential changes or additions that you would like to see implemented in the genre of doing music? And if so, what is it?
It's very hard to know. I guess it's just just with the way streaming is right now. It's like it is hard to like as a music artist. It can be hard nowadays to like make music unless or to profit off of music unless you're touring a lot. A lot of like profit comes from like that. I guess like merch sales on tours and things like that. And I mean, like there's a lot of labels that have like influence over the industry right now that many of them don't really pay artists very well
Right.
either. That's why a lot of artists go independent as well.
What I've heard, and I've seen so many. And sometimes when they're independent, they do better. A lot better than just signing a contract with.
Yes, definitely.
Is there anything that you want to see changed in that regard, or do you just kind of like, what, it is what it is? We have to do what we can.
I'm just like at this. I think we're at this point where we are. We just have to work around it because like internet's not going away. Streaming's not going to be going away, and AI is here, and
I mean,
be more advanced and more. Everything's going to be channeled in a different way.
There are some people out there. They are using AI to actually make music, but almost like use the instance of somebody else.
Yeah.
As an artist and have them make music, and that's the creepiest, scariest thing ever I could think of. Like, it's like, why? But I don't know. I still don't get it. It's people are making money too, which is crazy because it is free in some cases. As far as the artists haven't said anything, I think maybe one or two artists vocally came out and said that they're fine with it. But I mean, it's kind of weird. That's just my opinion, and that's something I learned recently. What's kind of like here's a curveball in this little interview here. What is your go-to song for club music? Say you're just in the mood and you're like in the car and you're like fixing to pump yourself up, so you go take up errands or go to the gym or whatever.
I would say Numa Numa.
Numa Numa. That's cool. Send me a picture of that in Messenger so I know what that is.
Yeah. That's the first thing I thought about. Numa Numa.
In your point of view, Joseph, what do you think is better for an individual to Should they just focus on making money, or should they focus on
Following their dreams.
okay?
Yeah,
Because
because money is just at the end of the day, it's if you're just doing something just to make money, it's no different than working a
right,
job. Yeah, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, are you really living?
I see your point.
Yeah, I mean, it's wonderful to have both. There's a lot of people who are fortunate to be conveniently following their dream and making money off of that. But
Right. I
yeah,
mean, bro, we're trying, man. You and I were trying.
yeah, it's hard. Like,
Gotta do both.
and like they a lot of them have like a side job besides doing music because it's just music doesn't make enough for some people, and yeah, but I mean, but that also depends on like how often a band may be like playing live shows and stuff. That's also a determining factor.
Of course, yeah. I mean, you can use, I guess, your connections and use their connections. That can actually help you, like, it's a form of networking. There you go. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Speaking
like
of which, I mean, I highly encourage networking for everybody. Networking.
yeah, definitely. Like in music, networking goes a far way as well.
I mean, anything artistic, right? In that sense.
Anything artistic, business related. It just all parallels,
Right.
It all has the same like the same way of getting where you want to be as far as it goes to finding someone who may change everything for you. And
you open a new door on.
Yeah.
The door is open for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the more people you know, the more people you're close to, there's more opportunities for doors to open, and and you may have new opportunities.
Right.
Yeah.
Quick thoughts, man. What do you think of Chat GPT? Have you used it before at all, by any chance?
I used it a bit. I think it's pretty neat. I've heard about like how like people are using it to like write essays.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that's it's kind of funny, but like it's probably hard to get away using that.
It's almost like a new form of like pseudo plagiarism, because it's not your work, but
not your work, but yeah, it is a different way of like plagiarism. It's just that it doesn't link to a source, but you could, because it links from multiple sources all across the web, and it just clusters all into one.
Almost like a funnel filter, and it finds the right words to put out. Yeah.
It filters and funnels into just one database that just collects everything, and then it makes something through its own. So it's it's just using tons of secondary sources, like primary sources, and it can develop like coherent things, but it's easy to tell if you read something, and if it's easy to tell whether or not it's someone's actual work.
Well, that's good, man, because I have yet to see that myself. I'm like, is this fake or is this AI? Is this AI or is this a person? Like, what the hell? But like I spoke earlier, man, like someone's AI bot like got around the CAPTCHA, because for most of us, when we log into something, if it's a new device or a new database, whatever, we humans, meatbags, as Bender would say. But anyways, we get these CAPTCHAs where we have to pick up these pictures, and whatever picture looks like a bike, that's the one that looks like a bike or whatever. That's how the computer or the system, whatever you want to call it, notices that we're human. Well, this bot apparently clicked a button that said, "I am visually impaired." But how do you see the button if you're visually impaired? But I still don't get it. But anyways, they got visually impaired. That was their button they clicked on, and they were able to get around the system.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, that is crazy, man.
AI is just finding loopholes, and it's outsmarting us.
Yeah, dude. So it's scary, man. It's a big thing, man. Now here's $1 million question, man, and this is the big one. No pressure. For the viewers, newer generations, what would you recommend to newcomers that they do should they want to pursue a career in the profession of music?
If your dreams are scaring you, that doesn't mean that they can't happen.
Okay.
Just start now.
Start now. There you go. What are your thoughts on the naysayers around you? Family members, friends, girlfriend? What are your thoughts on that? Like if they try to tell you, hey, you're never gonna make it, don't do it. What are your thoughts to that?
I mean, would you rather die missing the opportunities that you wanted to do, or live the most platitudinous, like cliche sort of life?
Yeah. Gotcha.
I have I have respect for people who grind hard, and fail doing what they want to do.
Basically, give it a shot, right?
People who put all the energy into mocking people who do that, who pursue, their dreams.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's I kind of have to, like you said, almost feel bad for the people that are wasting all their energy to kind of put someone else down that's trying to do something new.
Yeah.
Even if it's something that they never would have thought of to do in the first place. And they're like, you know what? There's a light bulb that goes off in my head, and I'm like, okay, I want to try this. Or she's like, I want to try this. Or he's like, or you're like, I want to try this. Because yeah, man, I was inspired to do podcasts because of a pretty popular celebrity. But no, it's good, man. I'm happy for it, and I still get some pushback from people I care about, which is fine. It's fine. I mean, some of them are like, okay, I see you trying. I see you making something. I see you doing something. I see you getting the gear, here and there. Like,
you're having fun. They're envious.
That too, in some cases. But yeah, I'm gonna end it with this part right here. I'm what you would call a minimalist. I don't like to have a lot of things. I hate having a bunch of stuff that I don't deem valuable. But my brother made a comment a while back, I think on my first podcast. He made a comment. He's like, CJ, how the hell are you minimalist? You got all this camera gear and all these tripods and all these computers around you and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of contradicting, but I mean, I use this stuff, Like, I don't have a lot of clothes. I don't collect toys. I don't.
Basically, like as you said, I mean, when it comes to minimalism, it doesn't indicate it doesn't mean that you can't have a lot of things. It's just that you just require the bare necessities to do what you want to do.
Fair.
And
I appreciate that, man. All right, man. Well, hey, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
You take care. Be blessed and be safe, man. Keep on grinding.
Thank you.
All right, dude. And later.
Thank you. See ya.
Much higher to go. Take the time to say peace. See you at the next show. See you at the next show. Guys, I was here. I even wrote the song. Time was shared. And if you can't say love,
Tap videos.